All right, so story so far, or at least let me just talk about this. This is the 31168 Lego castle, and this part is supposed to be like attached to the back of this. So you're supposed to disconnect the walls here. As you can see, there's a connector here and a little hand almost like fetching it back here with my finger. And you build this part first, and then you're supposed to build this part and connect the sides here, which I used the flag on. What I realized while building this part and finishing it was that these parts just connected seamlessly back here into a little square fort. And this thing kind of looks like its own building. So really, there are two buildings here. Obviously, you can connect them, and that's kind of the point. But I thought this would be a cool thing for a little playset. And so, what happened is that the story so far is that the king up here, he was in this fort with the rest of the horsemen, horse knights. And this whole castle thing, which doesn't actually have a shield to indicate that it's the horse knight area. So that's actually kind of favorable for my story here. Despite having these giant blue flags, of course. The Black Knight was talking to this blacksmith. They're in cahoots, and the blacksmith was making with a hammer in his hand a refined sword. The sword is over here, and he was standing there, and the Black Knight was here, chilling, talking to him. And then the king rode over on this one blue horse, right, or white horse, and he was like, "Come out! You need to come out to fight me because you killed my father." Apparently, I was thinking because the king has like brown hair and not gray or dark hair or like white hair. So he's kind of young, I was guessing. And they fought here, and he lost his shield, and then he got shield bashed, and he fell. And now he's captured. So his arms are like behind him because he's like in cuffs, although we don't have cuffs. And I put him on top of the tower because how do you get down? And the blacksmith, while this was going on, was watching, and he's in cahoots, obviously. So they went back in and chilled, and the horse was here. And by the way, during the whole thing, I gave the Black Knight the carrot so he could feed it to the horse before he started fighting, to show that he's still a cool person overall. While the king fell, he fell on the horse, and the horse now ran back to the fort. And obviously the queen, who is this character, because that's a woman actually. And the reason I found out it was a queen is because there's this hair, which I completely, there it is. There's this hair, which when you make the knight model, obviously also having a female face. I'll show you here. And this is also a two-sided face, so there's some more expressions. But that's a female face. There's an alternative build option to use this hair. And as you can see, this hair has this hole on top. And to me, that indicates that there must be something attached. And I found this little crown, which seamlessly fits onto the top of this hair, which I can't get connected. Ugh. Okay. And it's supposed to be on this, and it looks like a crown, and it's like, well, that's a queen. So I'm thinking, okay, that's not the daughter. So the king must be married to this woman, which is now the queen because the father of the king died because he's young. So it's just guessing the old king was there before and needed a plot line. And then this is another woman. So I decided she's the daughter of the king and queen, and this could have been the son. I thought it would be kind of weird if everybody was related. So this guy is now just the love interest of this girl, but he's also just a regular guy. He's in charge of rolling up and down the gate. Oh, and by the way, I saw a review where the gate stopped like here when you try to unload it or like use the quick lever. And the problem was really these studs underneath these gray clean slates almost. One of them, I think this one particularly, was like a bit further back, which caused too much friction when this drawbridge was going down. And it caused it to kind of stop midair. And there wasn't any particular reason for this to be that far back, except for the visuals. So I just put it further forward, and now it falls all the way back down. I've also seen a video of the guy I was looking at who was reviewing it, who had a problem with a different castle build, but it had the exact same drawbridge except for this little thing here. I think it was the 3112. And he had built this lever here, I think. So I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how he did it. But he put this lever in the wrong place. And so when he lifted it, it didn't work because he didn't build the thing correctly. I think it was this whole section with the brown wood. He had flipped it on accident when he was building. So it does work. It always has. It always will. Just build it correctly. Anyway, the story so far is that the queen saw the horse, or everybody saw the horse. They were like, we got to protect the treasure, but we got to get a king back. And there's a treasure back here. Yeah. All right. And this woman, queen, is now riding over. And this keeps falling off. Is going to fight the Black Knight. Come out to fight. And the Black Knight is like, enjoying his drink after defeating the king. And he's like, all right, now I've got to get back into business here. I can't enjoy my drink anymore. What a tiresome day. And then he takes his helmet and his shield. And the blacksmith was supposed to refine his sword before he went back out into battle, but doesn't seem like he has time for it, which is going to be his downfall. So the blacksmith goes up, and he was supposed to watch, which he will. So the blacksmith will watch from here, because he could have watched from up here. I don't even know if you saw where I was looking. He could have watched from up here, right? But I have a different plan for that, and I wanted to use this little area in the front. I don't know why I'm not turning this around. I want to use this little area in the front, because that was a cool little fence. So yeah, he's gonna be walking up the stairs. All right, so I just put the shield and sword on, and he's gonna like walk out the front gate here, supposedly with the sword down. And the Black Knight is left-handed, if you see on the building instructions in the cover of the box. Now he kind of walks out the front, la la la. Turn this around. I like to also put this out to make it into the actual building. And he has his helmet as well, just with him. Let's pretend. He's like, "What brings you here?" Or he's gonna say some line. Let's put on some voice acting. Have you come to find your father? You don't know who I am. Or maybe let's make her say something interesting. The kingdom needs my father. No, wait, that's the queen. Never mind. The kingdom needs my husband. I won't let you take him. And then she comes like out because she thinks she's powerful. Spoiler: she's stronger than the king because she has more time to practice and she's more vital. And the king isn't old, but he's very bureaucratic. Well, this guy is kind of like the left-handed... No, sorry, not left-handed. The guy from the Princess Bride. Because he... because he's just cool. All right. So I'm thinking of the guy who is not the main character in the Princess Bride, who starts left-handed and then is actually right-handed and whatever. And I think this is going to be a cool thing. So he's going to be like, all right, let's start. And then he puts on his helmet. Right, now he has his helmet on, and she's like, I will make sure my father gets free and the kingdom has his king. She's a great queen, but of course the king is like very, as I was saying, like, it's better at this. So they're fighting. Oh, you have a strong grip. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, haha. Well, for a woman, you're stronger than your husband. I practice more. And then he falls back. His helmet drops off. Right. This is the most stuff thing ever. I'm holding it with my legs. I'm holding it with my legs, because how else am I gonna do this? I only have 2 arms. And now it's like fallen over, and he's like, I don't think I need that anyway. And now he goes more on the offensive. Whoa. She gets the same move back, and then he's like, and then knees the shield into her head, and her visor like jumps up like this. Whoa. No, he's not scared right now. He knees her in the shield. Her visor like jumps up, and he's like, I know how to get this off now. And then he hits, and she kind of like tries to block. Her hand goes like this, and he like flicks his sword down, because this is something he did with the other, with the king as well, to hit the handle of his shield, and then his shield fell off. You guys didn't see that, but and then he does whoosh on the top part of the helmet, because that's like loose now, or like open, and he flicks the helmet off, and obviously she's gonna wear her own hair. This is the only reason we're doing this, because she has hair to show. This makes sense for the plot overall. She's like, ah. And now she's scared because she lost her helmet, and she's smart, right? She understands the helmet is very important. And he's like, fright doesn't get you far. And she's like, I practice without. And then she gets a bit better at like defending, and whoa. So she's gonna jump kick, and he kind of reacts by trying to slash instead of defending, and she has to like midair use her sword to deflect instead. She kind of falls down, and he uses his shield to whip her shield away. So she loses her shield, just like her, I said father, I think, but like the king. She's like, ah, no. And then he shields again with the other part to attack the sword, which kind of like dazzles her, but she keeps the sword. Then she tries to use both her hands. So I'm going to like do this. But she's on the low end. Wow. You stand no chance. You stand no chance. If you don't surrender, I might kill you. At least let me see my king. Ah! There's a beautiful production right here. He's like, very well. Throw his sword away. And then she throws her sword like that. And he's like, haha. Foolish like your husband. But smarter. Or more skilled, more talented. Something like that. Some compliment. You know what it is. She's like, okay. And then he takes her. And the blacksmith, who's over here, has been like watching, because he's supposed to chronicle this to some extent. He's just that guy, you know, just there for some reason. Then she's taken to the top, There's no walking animation for this. And then there at the top, this flag dropped while I was moving around. And the guy is like, I'll head over to the fort and take the treasure now that the two strongest fighters are gone. You chronicle what's happened here today. And the blacksmith's like, all right, I'll do my shit. I'll do my job. I will do my job. I don't know what his accent's supposed to be. And then he goes, there's no stairs here. And we take this down because that was just supposed to be like around. Oh shit. And it's important to immediately immerse into the Lego, so it's important to put... Alright, so just to zoom in here a little bit. There's pen and paper, so as you can see there's like... of course this is like taking all the visuals here. There's like a white arc and a white triangle, and that forms like an open book almost. And there's like a green binding in the back there. And a quill. And he's going to be chronicling this this occurrence here. And these guys are trapped on top, as they should be. The gear, the equipment is down here, just chilling. They've lost so many swords, just saying. Swords and shields. And this time, the horse is going to stay. The horse is going to like just stand over there. And the Black Knight is like, all right, time to sit out. He's not stupid, so he keeps using his helmet when he does things, because he's just kind of like that. Ooh. Ooh. All right. And he takes his horse because he's smart. And I would use this flag, but who cares? All right, I'll use it later when they're like jousting or something. So now he's on the horse. He's riding over. Let's I think actually if you move the legs a little bit forward and backwards, you can get a little horse sound when you ride. Maybe I was mistaken. A little bit. All right, and it gets over here. All the loot or gear over here. And then he's like, I've come to claim what's mine. You should open the gates. And the princess is like, you don't stand a chance. We're fortified over here. And he's like, don't underestimate me. If I don't come back alive, maybe maybe the king and queen will not be alive to survive, or won't survive. I don't know. She's like pew pew pew. She shoots some arrows. Let's pretend this is an arrow. Pew. Ah, and then he like freaking big ass thing. And the horse kind of like, whoa, and then runs away, runs back home. And he's like, wow, good thing I have the shield. And he, I guess he blocked it, I guess. Boom. And she's like, haha. And this guy's like, you won't get in here. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, wow, I need to run away. And then he just, oh, that's actually great. So, he's scared and he needs to run away. So he runs all the way back. It takes forever to run back. Right? But that also, so he's going to stand up here and he's going to not have a helmet on because he's not in combat. And when he comes back, I'm not going to show this part, but he finds his horse, he puts it back in the stable. So we're gonna see from the side here, this path here. Side, the horse comes back in. You know, it turns around or something. We close the stable door, and the horse is back in the stable, chilling, living a good life. He takes his helmet with him, puts it near where he is, and the other horse is over here, still chilling. It's not relevant. However, oh yeah, by the way, he walks in the normal direction here. And he comes out here, you know, as one does, walking up. And he's like, Blacksmith, I lost at the fort. I couldn't defeat the guardsmen. They were too defensed, or too fortified. And he's like, I'll chronicle it, for some reason. This doesn't make any sense, okay, but it makes sense, I guess. It has some cohesion. And the king and queen are pretty excited because they're seeing a light in the end of the tunnel. He's not invincible. He's just really good at melee combat. And then, like stupid children, they run over. They're like, haha, we can defeat him. He ran away. Because that's a sign of not being strong, right? They're like, yeah. And then they run over. And they're like, release my father. Release my parents. Release the royalty. Or we'll get you. And he's like, bruh, I don't need to worry about that. You're just kids. Or you're nothing. And then she starts shooting. Shooting some arrows. Ugh. Up at the knight. Let's imagine this is an arrow. Pew! Pew, 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 pew. And it hits the shield a little bit because he's like, wow, and he doesn't have his helmet. So he's like panicking, trying to run away into the house. Which is where we finally get to use this part of the building. Huh. Open the door. Huh. And then he runs in. I'm not going to make him run in because that's super annoying. And he hides on his bed because he's actually a little wuss. Who would have thought? He talks big game, and he is big game, but he's also a wuss. At the same time, he's scared of arrows, I guess. New fear unlocked. Arrows coming from all directions, like forward. It's not arrows coming from all directions that is his fear. It's arrows from all directions. He's scared no matter where they come from. A very cool fear. Or stupid fear, I guess. And he kicks his helmet down just so that, you know, he won't have it for this and won't feel safe. And he closes the door. And then Huzzah! They run in, and our knight is like, hold on, princess. I need to go first in case he's waiting around the corner. Of course he's not, because he's stupid. So he opens the door and sees this banquet. And she's like, I'm going to follow. And turn around. And of course he's rolled over there. And mighty fine meal. And he eats some chicken, and there's a little fire here with some wood. It's pretty cool. And he's like, great place, great place. And there's a little chandelier and a throne almost. He's like, great place, great place. And then he walks to this location, and he's like, this is where they smith the finest weapons. And princess is like, yo, give me some of that. I want some better arrowheads. They're like, all right, we're gonna head up. And the blacksmith is chronicling everything because he can't fight, so he's just like watching from over there. And they're coming up, and he's like, open the door. or we will break it. You have one shot, or you have one warning, something like that, right? And she's obviously back here because I placed her there, something. And he's like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm outnumbered, and they're way strong, because he doesn't realize that he's good at melee, and that's a spear. And then he opens the door, raw, and obviously he has to open it to himself. And he's scared, and he's like pointing the spear, like, you should surrender, haha. And he's like, okay. But then he surrenders, and everybody's happy. And yeah, the king and queen saved, taken back to the everything. They now own this part of the castle, and because they own this part of the castle, this whole fort castle thing, everything's chronicled in this book. It's all true. If you read this book, you will read this whole story 100%. And I lost the king's hat. Give me a second. And yeah, they captured the Serpent Knight, Black Knight, and she went back to her castle or whatever and put on her crown. So now you can see that she's actually the queen. And the ranger here, ta-ta! Does she have an expression for being really happy? She has like a smiling, like, smirk. Hold on. And the king is happy, and the queen is smirking with her new crown, or her old crown that she didn't use because she was using a helmet. And the ranger, which is the princess, is now smirking because she's happy. Blacksmith only has one expression, and he's concerned because he doesn't really have any combat power. He's just there to work. He was serving this guy, though, who is now reasonably scared with all his gear over there. So now that they've taken over the castle again, oh, obviously this guy. He's a happy fellow. Now that they've recaptured this castle area, we will combine these two forts, and it will become one big castle, because these guys now have it all. And now that the kind of castle part here has been captured, the king and queen are happy, standing here praising their lives. All the swords are in this bucket. This torch falls down, of course, as it does. This guy's really happy about pushing the torch off. It was not me. I didn't push it. No, he's still on the tower. Princess is happy being a ranger because she likes ranged weapons. There were some trophies, from the battle. This is a historic memory. The white horse is now the one in the stable. Really happy about that. This guy didn't just lose, he's also afraid of heights, I've decided. So yeah, he's enjoying his life up there. And the yellow horse is again getting a carrot, and the blacksmith is now just a general keeper and tender of the whole fort, swearing loyalty to the king as long as the king keeps the Serpent Knight imprisoned, because where else would he go when his lord is up there? And that's the chronicled. I don't know why I called it a chronicle. Story is written. And yeah.